even though we know we judge ourselves too much, we're not aware of how much our body and our emotion and our thoughts have locked into that sense of falling short and that fear that we're going to fail. We're just not aware of it. And the trance of unworthiness brings us to addictive behavior because there's a real deep, raw discomfort with feeling shame and fear. And so we try to soothe it. And it makes it very hard to be intimate with others because if we have a sense, well, something's wrong with me, then we also have a sense that even if others don't know right away about that, they'll find out. So it's hard to be real and spontaneous and close to other people. This is a story, a minister that I was working with some years back was in a real impasse in his marriage. And his wife was so dissatisfied that she said, if we can't work this out, I don't know if I can stay with this. So it was a very rocky time when he talked to me. And basically she wanted him to be more intimate, more vulnerable, not so spiritually detached. She wanted him to be able to say, I love you, and look her in the eyes. And he was very blocked, and whenever she would ask for something, that would make it even harder for him to feel like he could be warm and friendly. And so he was very defended, but he knew she was right, that he was not able to be intimate. And so when we started working together and we sensed, okay, feel the defendedness and the block, underneath it was a huge sense of deficiency as a human being and a very harsh critic. And he felt like an imposter. And I found that many, many high achieving, very successful people feel like imposters, feel like they can look really, really good and achieve everything in the world, and still deep down there's a sense of, I can't believe people are taken in by this, So he felt a sense of his own hypocrisy because he preached about love and he preached about human love and spiritual love, but he didn't feel like he embodied it. He felt like he had been ambitious in his process in the ministry, and he was very controlling, and he felt his ego got in the way a lot, and that he could look good and he could comfort people as a spiritual advisor even, but he couldn't be close with people. So his inner critic was basically saying, you don't deserve the position you're in, and you don't even deserve your marriage. So he got in touch with a really deep sense of shame and aversion. And when he started exploring the two wings and, really sensing into the sense of that place that was feeling, he would name it and feel it, and what did it most need? And what that place most needed, that really defective place, was to be forgiven. And he said, I need to feel like God sees me and knows I'm trying. And when he said that, that's when I felt like that was the ouch moment. I sometimes call it, it was the moment when he really got his own suffering, that he was trying and he couldn't help it. Who knows the conditioning that led to him being closed off? But when he said that I need to have God see that I can't help it, I'm trying, and forgive me, that was the moment that the second wing came alive and that he could actually feel some tenderness towards himself. So in a way, his practice was this. He would get into that place of feeling stuck and incapable of being close because he felt like he was just such a defective person. He couldn't bring that into a relationship. He'd see that, he'd feel his shame. And then the second wing of allowing compassion was, please forgive me. And then it kind of went like this, a sense of forgiving himself. Now, as I described with the other story, with the IT executive, this was over and over again a practice, that every time he get triggered and so on, that he could be by himself in practice. He would feel his sense of deficiency and his fear about being exposed, and he, in some way, the second wing was, please forgive me, and then kind of forgiven. over and over again. And it took him a number of months, but he shared that his wife, he said with his wife, for the first time in 26 years, he said, we're feeling each other's hearts.